You get to pick it, and if you think of it, we go in a draft 1-2, and if you come it, that's yours. Yeah. If you get it, so you put your best ones at the top that you want first. That's fine. You can do that. But I had a feeling. I was like, I was thinking, someone gets that's a real unceremonious exit from a band, and to come up with his own stuff like that.
That goddamn album.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's so angry. It's so bitterness can drive you to not just bitterness. He's obviously incredibly talented.
Yeah,
but he was so angry.
It's by far not his best record. No. By far.
Probably better than any NWA album. It's better than, it's not better than Straight Outta Compton.
It's not better than Straight Outta Compton. No, it's not. Very little is. Straight Outta Compton's a perfect snapshot of time. Well, America's Most Wanted is like a diss record. The world's first diss record. All of it. Like no Vaseline and everything. Like there's a bunch of stuff on there. Ice Cube's best album for me is The Predator. It's
the most focused and put together, and it's
perfect.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other stuff by him, like Lethal Injection. It's all very mishmashy, and his style and flow jumps around so much that it's hard to. It just feels like a lot of stuff that he recorded in different studios with different people just thrown onto an LP or whatever.
And he came out with not much money, I don't think, from NWA.
Well, he walked from NWA
because he wasn't getting that money.
It wasn't happening.
And then he didn't get any money from this either, did he?
Didn't it
came to the deal where it's like,
was it Interscope? I think it was Interscope.
I can't remember. But do you remember he didn't make much off this? They said to him, "Oh no, you'll make money off the second album." And he was like, "When am I getting some fucking money from my job, doing my job?"
Well, that was around the time he formed Lynch Mob. Would have been around then as well.
Yeah.
So he put together his own little stable as well.
Yeah.
So probably would have been second, third, fourth record.
There's some good samples on this song. There's Cool and the Gang, Sly and the Family Stone, and I think there's a James Brown bit.
They're all fucking par for the course though for a lot of those.
They are.
That year's worth of albums, a lot of them.
That vein got tapped quickly and fast.
It ran out so quick. Many bootsy fucking bass lines kind of stroke.
And Snoop Dogg should have been first refusal on all them being related.
Yeah, it's outrageous. Like there's so many of those fucking Parliament bits that were stroked.
That's one of my top statement breakout songs.
100%.
You have to make a big statement with that. What is your next one?
My one, once again, follows you.
We did this on purpose, let's not lie.
Well, at least we're grouping them.
No, we did this on purpose, yeah.
It's Nothing But a G Thing.
Baby.
Exactly.
Too low down.
Yeah. Going crazy. Death Row was not the label that made him. But Dre is off the Chronic with Snoop Dogg.
Oh, the Chronic.
Yeah, the first Chronic album, which was pretty much invented G-Funk. That song pretty much invented G-Funk, which hip-hop got 10, 15 years worth of mileage out of, really and truly.
Only up until recently, I thought, that whistly synth that you hear in loads of those G-Funk songs, I thought they were all samples.
No.
They're all played.
They're Termins and shit.
They're played over the samples. So I presume it was like, where are they getting, like, what band was using that thing all the time? It was him.
You go back and listen to like Mothership or something like that, where they take a lot of those samples from, and you listen to the songs. There's been about 10 songs that use all those samples. They always have something. They have a flute.
Of course,
They're mad for flutes. Like,
what do you think you're saying?
Like, so are like Beastie Boys as well. Mad for flutes and mad for theremins.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, I think he didn't play keyboard over them.
Fuck yeah, he did. Yeah, he was in bands and all when he was a young fella. Like,
but I was surprised to find that. Do 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 do. All that, he's playing that. It's very simple stuff, but it's
that
great.
Weird amalgamation of sounds that he got, where it's just got this real laid back, like shuffly drum beat with just a killer kind of Hammond little riff or it's just something in there. And all of those songs, it's rare that he does a stone cold stomper of a banger. Dre, he has this lovely way of layering samples. But not only, if you ever watch any of the documentaries about the making of Chronic 2001, it's like full bands and stuff. Yeah, he's got like in-house musicians, lads playing bass, lads playing keyboard, all that kind of shit. And he's got full bands in there, and they're playing along with samples, and they're redoing samples. That's part of the deal. But that Nothing But a G Thing for me, like, goddamn, like, when did that come out? That came out in 1992. Like, 1992. I know, we're all old. Like, what age was I? I was fucking 11. was 11.
It is a super distinct sound. Do you ever think if an alien came down and you got to play him East Coast and West Coast, he'd be able to tell which place had the weather and the big buildings, and which place had the good weather and the spaced out areas?
100%.
It just G-Funk sounds like summer, and it's not just because of all the videos. It just sounds.
You listen to like
summer music,
Mobb Deep or something like that. It just sounds dark and it's raining out.
And that's what Nas and Wu-Tang sound like. They sound like an alleyway, rainy alleyway music.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
It's just you can just tell the scenario of where that was from. in the same way you can tell that Joy Division were from like
a Kip.
Yeah.
Like all that East Coast stuff is very, very claustrophobic. Very claustrophobic.
Yes. The samples are almost, I wouldn't say industrial, but they're from that city sounds. The sound of the city.
But also, what's interesting about the East Coast versus West Coast, not even getting into labels and all the shit that everybody else knows about, is that when you listen back to a lot of that kind of early to mid 90s East Coast stuff, the loops and samples they use are really tighter. They're not using bars. They're just using like just loopy constantly through the whole thing. Because the machines that we're using only had so much memory.
Yeah.
Well, the lads on the West Coast were using full DJs.
And that's why I prefer that.
Yeah.
I absolutely prefer it.
I have room in my heart for all of it. But
I do as well. But you know when you listen to early Run DMC, those beats get sore on your ears.
Yeah, but again, that's shitty drum machines.
Yeah, it just hurts sometimes. And it's just... And they didn't use much melody anyway, so those drum and it was so mixed, so high, the drums.
Oh yeah. In my heart, the worst thing in the world is something like a hi-hat that's too high in a mix. It's awful.
It hurts.
To me, a hi-hat is for keeping time. It's not necessarily an actual instrument. You know what I mean? Yeah, so when you get that, you got that in a lot of that East Coast hip hop where it was real high. West Coast again, they were using full sections of songs and middle eights
as well. Smoother, summertime.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's fucking probably only dark for 3 hours a night as well. So the lads are getting all their vitamin D, having the best crack. You know, sitting by the beach.
Killing each other as much.
Yeah,
I mean, it's gangster rap for a reason.
More.
The
West Coast were most definitely killing each other more.
Yeah,
and there wasn't enough room to fucking hide. Like it's too open. You know? Right, what's your next one?
My next one is "Empty Walls" by Serge Tankian from System of a Down.
Yeah, you had to remind me of this one.
It's fantastic.
You had to remind me of this, and then when you sang it to me most beautifully outside.
I did. I gave you the whole song, and I even did the outro. I
remembered it. Yeah.
I love this song because it was. I don't know if we knew at the time whether System of a Down were breaking up for good. I don't think we did.
I think they just disappeared off the radar completely.
So he came out with.
They put out that Shy album. That's not Shy, but not great album.
Yeah, they did too. They did Mesmerise and Hypnotise. And the last one was Poop. I didn't think so. Had a couple of good songs, and I think Violent Pornography was on that. Yeah. I wasn't a big fan of it. I think that's Serge's one.
Yeah, apparently one was your man.
It was Darren's.
Yeah, and one was Serge's.
And instantly I would have thought that the better one would have been...
I don't know.
The first one... Actually, you know, I get these names... Hypnotise. I think Hypnotise is the first one.
I don't know. I was clocked out of both of them, to be honest with you. I heard that Steal This album and I thought it was okay.
Well, it's a B-sides album, you can't really judge it.
Yeah, but don't release it if it's shite.
Well, it's an interim album, the same way a lot of B-sides are.
But it didn't do much for me.
It's messy, it's a collection of songs.
There's a couple of bits and pieces on it again that were good, but I remember kind of skimming through the next ones and nothing made me do a backflip, you know. I was surprised as to how good Empty Walls was when it first came out. I don't think the album is particularly great.
I
don't think I actually heard the album.
John Dalmian, the drummer for System of a Down, is on Empty Walls and possibly the whole album, because I think once you play with John Dalmian, trying to find another drummer like that to play with again,
they can do that.
It's going to be a grim search. You'll probably find one, but it won't be. He's just so good. It sounds like a System of a Down song in some ways. In other ways, it doesn't, because there's a lack of Darren. Guitar, his guitar solo, and his backing.
It's a bit more straightforward music.
It is, yeah. It's I don't know. If you try, I've seen people trying to sing at karaoke, you run out of breath because it's just
because it's been layering the shit over as well.
It's not about him. No, he can sing that.
That's what I'm saying. But that's the way he works.
Yeah, absolutely. You would be out of breath singing that song. Empty Walls. The video was. Do you remember the kids and they're recreating sort of 9/11 and all the stuff around it, but they're doing it with building blocks and little it's a playground.
So.
It's not as clever as it thinks it is, but it does the job for the.
Is it him walking around with a top hat or something on?
That's part of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And It's good. If System of a Down fans were very happy with it. More happy than they were Darren's Hollywood fucking...
What was that called? Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly.
I don't want to say Hollywood Vampires. That's Alice Cooper and Johnny Depp.
And all, yeah.
John Lennon?
Yeah, the original ones, yeah.
Hollywood Undead.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. What? No. Anyway, it doesn't really...
Anyway, Hollywood...
Sorry, Scars on Broadway.
Yes.
It had a couple of good songs, but if you're listening to Darren for a whole album, I can't do it. And it wasn't up to scratch.
Yeah, nice.
Listen, System of a Down fans were happy. I was happy. Everyone was happy. What's your next one?
My next one is Mother by Danzig.
Great one. Great choice. He had a lot to prove.
I don't know whether Danzig had a lot to prove, to be honest with you. I think...
Oh, he doesn't think he did?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not a question.
I think there's a weird legacy there that doesn't make an awful lot of sense. So, he was obviously the singer and songwriter for the Misfits. And the Misfits were, even when they were doing the rounds, they were fucking huge. They were really big. Because they didn't play that much.
Yeah.
They only done a couple of gigs every now and again. And by all accounts, every gig was garbage. Absolute garbage. They were terrible live.
Was that when they were doing their weightlifting before the set?
Oh no, that was after. That was the second kind of generation of the only
Graves,
lads, with Michael Graves, yeah. Even like before that, like Jerry would lift a bit of weights and Doyle would or whatever. But Danzig, no, absolutely fucking no. And Robo and all them, no, they weren't doing any of that type of shit.
Mother is an absolute killer song, though, isn't it?
That album is perfect.
It's so good.
It's perfect. Now, like in between Misfits and Danzig had Seven, and a lot of those songs off Danzig were Seven songs they just kind of repurposed, and there's lads from Seven in Danzig.
Yeah.
That was a weird little buffer zone that he done. But I think while he was doing Seven, he missed that big sound that was starting to come out. That big kind of rock and metal kind of gothy fucking booming sound.
It was quite gothy.
Yeah. Because all that sound stuff was like one step up from Misfits. So it still sounded like it was recorded in a garage, you know. So we missed that kind of that big production and that big epic feel. So when that song came out, like,
and he's got Johnny Kelly from Type O on guitar.
You know, he does backing vocals on 2 or 3 songs on Danzig. Danzig is James Hetfield.
Does he?
Yeah, he does backing vocals on Twist of Cain.
Right.
He does
Twist of Cain.
backing vocals
that album's just
on Possessed. But they couldn't credit him.
Right.
Because of some
reasons.
label nonsense, yeah. He couldn't be credited. But yeah, he still does backing vocals on a couple of songs. And I only found out today as well, the Danzig logo is from a Marvel comic called, what's his name? Chris Star, yeah.
It's a great logo.
Yeah, that was lifted off the cover of a Marvel Comics comic called The Legend of Chris Star or something like that. And as far as I know...
he's mad into his comics and books.
Big, and
he loves wolves.
He does, he's a big fan of wolves. I have a feeling that Marvel still own that logo. He might lease it after or something. I'm not sure. But that came out in August of 1988.
I thought that was 90.
No, 1988.
Did they re-release the...
They might have, I don't know.
It initially came out, a live version of it was the MTV video.
The original version of that album didn't even say Danzig on it. It just had the skull. And it got re-released a year or two later.
Yeah.
With the font on it and all that kind of stuff. So there could have been a million... Danzig.
No, but the song you heard first on MTV was a live version.
That was called Mother 91 or something like that. There was a weird version of it.
So maybe that was later then.
It was 1988 is when that album came out with Mother on it. It might not have had the big splash until a year or two later.
Yeah.
But I know there was a version of it called, I think it was called Mother...
Was 91.
91, something like that. It had a little brackets, blah, blah. And I think it was a little bit faster. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah.
But that for me, that's one of the ultimate breakout songs. Because
it is.
When someone stays in their genre and stays kind of within their style, they get to bring the whole past legacy with them. So when he jumped on board the fucking Danzig train, he was bringing all that Misfits and that sound stuff with him as well.
Yeah.
And it also meant that he had a massive back catalogue of work to kind of present to a new audience.
Yeah.
So he came, even though he was new on the scene to a lot of people as Danzig, he came with like bricks in his pockets. Do you know what I mean? And it made fucking sense.
I do love that. I do love that album, and that is a great choice for a breakout song.
It just makes sense. Right, what's your next one?
David Sylvian, Red Guitar.
You have to remind me of this one now.
David Sylvian was the singer of Japan, the band Japan.
Yeah, I don't remember this song though for some reason.
Red Guitar, Yeah, you wouldn't
sure
hear.
I do.
You wouldn't hear. It's not. You wouldn't hear it in many places. It's kind of a. Well, he first started out in Japan.